This haul brought to you by OrganicPriceBooks.com. Use code GemMint to save $2 on the already discounted books from OrganicPriceBooks.com. Big shout out to JP and the whole team over there, always taking care of us. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm GemMint, and of course, this is another Omnibus haul. Another good mix. We got manga, some DC Omnis, Marvel Omnis, Spawn Deluxe Edition Volume 6, and we have some Absolute Editions that I'll talk more about once we get to it. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We got a lot going on. Whatnot Wednesdays. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I got a bunch of giveaway stuff and a bunch of announcements. But you're here for the haul, so let's jump into that first. I do have the two manga books, and you know what? I don't think I'm going to get too in-depth on these because I've showed them off in the last haul. I've missed out on Volume 8 from Fist of the North Star, and then Volume 9 from Blood of the Immortal is in. These are both series that I started on. I read Volumes 1. In this case, I think I read up to Volume 3, and I did a review. Same with this, but I really need to get caught back up on these two. But it's the same kind of deal, man. Black and white. It's manga, collected editions. Yeah. All right, onto the DC Omnibus. We have the Batman and TMNT Team-Up Omnibus, collecting all three series. Let's take a look at it. Already, I'm digging the artwork on the dust jacket. All right, so let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into the Batman TMNT Omnibus. James Tynion IV, along with Freddie E. Williams II and Jeremy Caldwell. Taking a look at the spine, kind of a thinner Omni, but a collaboration between IDW and DC Comics. Here we have the back. So like I mentioned, it has 3 6-issue series, and it retails $100. Here we have the inside of the dust jacket, just Batman and Donnie. Small biography on the creators here. Very cool wraparound cover here, though. Is that Krang inside of the Anti-Monitor? I recall reading the first of these volumes, the first 6 issues as they were coming out in singles, and I didn't really love it, as I recall. Dope artwork here. Again, Krang, Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady. But I kind of just felt like this is so non-canon and doesn't matter that I just never got excited for it. But I was already flipping through this, and it's like, man, I should just bust out a reread of this. I mean, what is it? 18 issues here. You have the table of contents. You have a foreword by Kevin Eastman. Freddie E. Williams with the foreword as well. This is what the cover for issue 1. You get the Virgin cover. And then jumping into the story, I don't even remember how they crossed over. For some way, I think the Turtles ended up in Gotham or something along those lines. You got Batman with the Turtles. You got Shredder in here. But yeah, it looks like it's definitely worth a reread. You got Robin here, Ra's al Ghul, some of the Batman Rogues Gallery, Splinter. So everyone shows up here, all collected in one Omni. I think it's pretty cool. They had a collaboration effort on this series, and now we get it collected in hardcover. And it looks like we have some bonus material here in the back as well. Let's take a look. All right, so we get a cover gallery. The Eastman variants, you have the non-colored version for the second printing of issue 1. Third printing cover. Different variants. These are nice. Gabriel Del Auto. So you get the covers with different coloring. That's cool. Black and white with a little bit of color. Some more extras in the back. So the original Pitch series. Kind of some behind the scenes stuff on how this came together. Some sketches and designs, getting it all storyboarded. So a nice ton of extras in this book too. All right, on to the Marvel stuff. We got the Black Cat by Jed MacKay. This is a run that I think I might have read some of these tie-ins here and there, but I never read the run. I'm a big fan of Jed MacKay, was loving his Moon Knight until I stopped reading comics, but let's take a look at it. Had to pick it up, man. It's Black Cat. All right, so taking a closer look at the dust jacket here. Beautiful artwork. Jed MacKay, Michael Dowling, Travel Foreman, Pierre Perez, and C.F. Villa. Let's take a look at that spine here. Black Cat. And the back. Let's see what this all collects. So from her 2019 series, it's the complete 12 issues. Then the 2020 series, the 10 issues are collected, plus the first annual. You have Giant Size Black Cat Infinity Score, Iron Cat 1 through 5, and material from Black Cat Annual 1 from 2021, and Free Comic Book Day 2020, the Spider-Man / Venom one. $100 cover price on here. You get a biography on the Black Cat, what's going on with her during these runs. We get some more of that on the inside of the dust jacket, as well as a biography on the creators. And a very sleek wraparound hardcover. All right, so let's check out the inside. Of course, it's got the black cover page. Very cool kind of theme on this book. So Thieves Like Us just jumps into issue 1. You got the J. Scott Campbell cover, Virgin cover. And then we're jumping into this Black Cat run. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have read any of these, actually. I remember them coming out and just having so much to read during that time that I was like, you know what? We're going to skip Black Cat. But look, I'm glad that I waited that out. Now we got a whole omnibus for it. So you get the Virgin covers before each issue. I remember Infinity Score, something about she was in possession of one of the Infinity Gems for a little while. I kind of remember that being a thing during some storyline. Here she is with Logan. So you get the gist of it. Kind of modern style here, as this was a recent series. Here's that Infinity Score. All right, so some variants in the back, like Phil Noto has a cover here. Art Germ, beautiful cover. Chris Anka, Scotty Young, of course. Travel Foreman, Terry Dodson. You got some of this Carnage stuff during that whole era. Yeah, so you get a variant cover gallery in the back. Then we get into some designs, bonus material. So there we go for Black Cat. All right, here we go, guys. So this was on my most anticipated omnibus list, I think, since I first started the channel. It's a run that I read getting back into comics. I was picking it up weekly. Dan Slott kills Spider-Man. Spoiler alert. And it was big. It was a big deal at the time. And I loved the whole Superior Spider-Man thing. I'm going to keep this vague. I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't read it. You know, it's an older story, but Superior Spider-Man by Dan Slott. A ton of great artists on here. Let's take a look at it. Big thanks to That Spider-Man Booth for sponsoring this video. They have a monthly subscription box which gives you 5 comics, $100 retail value for just $50. In addition to that, you'll get a variant that's exclusive to this box. For August, we have White Widow issue number 7 with a cover by Sabine Rich. Check out ThatSpiderManBooth.com and subscribe to that mystery box today. All right, so the front of the dust jacket is the cover for issue 1, which I always like. Here we have the spine, Superior Spider-Man logo, Volume 1, and here's the back. So we have Amazing Spider-Man 698 through 700. I believe that storyline was called Dying Wish. That's where Dan Slott kills off Spider-Man and ends the Amazing Spider-Man run for the second time, I guess, technically. Then jumps into its own series. This was in 2013. It's a 31-issue series with 2 annuals by Dan Slott. You got artists like Ryan Stegman and Humberto Ramos. $125. Inside of the dust jacket, giving you a synopsis, what Dr. Octopus did during Dying Wish and how that led into Superior Spider-Man, a new Spider-Man, even though it was still Peter Parker, a biography on Dan Slott and the rest of the creative team, and a very sleek wraparound cover on the hardcover, just like with the Black Cat omnibus, a darker Spider-Man, if you will. Let's flip open here again with the black cover pages. Superior Spider-Man Volume 1. Here we have all the credits. ASM 698, Dr. Octopus on his deathbed. So, yeah, I guess I don't really want to spoil it, because if you're jumping into this omnibus and this is your first time reading it, I would like you to read it for the first time. And if you read it with me, we all know what happens already. Whether you liked it during the time or you didn't, killing off characters in comics wasn't new during this time, but I feel like we still kind of got upset about it. And, you know, I think Superior Spider-Man won us over, though. Even though we didn't like the fact that Peter Parker was killed off, you know, quote in quotes, the Superior Spider-Man version was super fun. And I hear it's coming back, right? They have a new series coming out now. So this is a good time to, not get spoiled, get caught up on it. But Superior Spider-Man has a slightly different outfit, different skill set. And the reason why it does all tie in together, you know, with Doc Ock, obviously, that's the main antagonist of this story. What's cool about the Spider-Man 2099 double page spread, Humberto Ramos stuff, is I remember reading this as it came out, and now I've met Humberto Ramos and his team multiple times. It's like they know who I am. It's crazy, man. And I remember when this was coming was such a big deal. Agent Flash, Anti-Venom at the time. I was also reading Venom by Rick Remender, which we haven't had that collected yet in an omnibus, huh? We need to get that going leading into Space Knight. Anyway, Superior Spider-Man, pick it up and read it. What's in the back? So some iconic variants for ASM 700. This was actually the original cover for AF15 that Steve Ditko did, and then Stan Lee had Jack Kirby take a crack at it instead and use the Kirby cover. So this was used for not only like the issue 700 variant, the hardcover variant for the oversized hardcovers that collected this run, and that's all we had for the longest time. I remember this one too, Oliver Copiel and Justin Ponzer. This one obviously is classic, Forgetting Siggs. Humberto Ramos and Edgar Delgado. Humberto Ramos, I think this was his like breakout book, right? Where he had been around, but after this he was huge. The Joe Quesada double page or wraparound cover. It's dope when an issue has iconic variants, like so many iconic variants. J. Scott Campbell, connecting covers and such. More Humberto Ramos stuff. This one was classic as well. The Kamen Coley one. The Adi Granov. So yeah, you get a ton of variants. Love the ASM 316 homage with Miguel O'Hara. This one was so iconic. I used to always want this one. It was super expensive at the time. I was always a huge Spider-Man 2099 fan. The Lego AF15 homage. Yeah, great stuff. So it's also cool to just get these Omnis. You have all these collected. If you couldn't hunt down these ratio variants and such, because it could get expensive, you have all that artwork in this oversized format in the Omnis. All right, y'all. Oh, and then this is cool. All 700 ASM covers. That's cool that they included this as well. That was from, I think, ASM 700. All right, so next up, we have two Absolute editions that I have covered on this channel before. We've got the Absolute Killing Joke and Absolute Watchmen. And I think what's funny about these books is that I ended up getting rid of the Absolutes when I was running out of space, going to just the Omnibus. But now that I have some more space, I wanted to go back and pick up some iconic Absolutes that they didn't collect in Omnibus format, but really it was the sequels to these books that made me want to go back and get the originals, the Doomsday Clock and the Absolute 3 Jokers. Both were kind of like follow-ups to these, so I decided to come back and pick these up. Let's flip through them real quick. Yeah, so funny enough, both of these Absolutes are Alan Moore classics. So the Killing Joke, I love this format, man. This huge slipcase cover, and I love what they did with this one here. I mean, the spines are okay, and you also get this iconic cover on the back. But on the hardcover themselves, they added a different perspective of the Joker with that iconic taking the picture scene. So that was super cool. Now, the retail price for this is $50, which is pretty reasonable for an Absolute edition. Pretty expensive for a graphic novel, but also, what does like a first print go for, right? If it's in good condition. So you get just that one graphic novel, but they give it to you in two different formats. Amazing creative team, Alan Moore, Brian Bolin, John Higgins, Richard Starkings. Here is the table of contents of what the Absolute gives you. Got an intro here by Tim Sale. Man, I love the paneling. And this is the recoloring. Yeah, so they give you that version, and then they also give you the original on kind of more of a newspaper type of quality that it would have been printed on at the time. Always a big controversy when it comes to recolorings. I remember just reading them both, enjoying them. They definitely have a different vibe and different aesthetic. Like this one has that reddish, purplish hue, and this one feels a little bit more neutral, I guess you would say. But then you get bonus materials. You get the script in the back, which is always cool. Personally, I never read the scripts, but I could see for people who want to like maybe write a script. So man, a ton of the bonus material is script. And then you get, what is this? Okay, like a Brian Bolin collage in the back. And a biography in the back. An Absolute Watchmen, an absolute classic, a must-have in your collection. And they're never going to come out with an omnibus for it because it's only these 12 issues, so there's no need for it. They do have a before Watchmen Omni. So you have a dust jacket and a hardcover slipcase. Just has the blood dripping on the inside of the dust jacket. And then the actual hardcover itself has a nice kind of faux leather texturing here. You have the clock, the Doomsday Clock, on the front and back. Similar type of spine. And just such a well-constructed book, man. I love the Watchmen. I've read the issues multiple times. I read this Absolute back in the day. I had the trade paperback first. I feel like I saw the movie first, and then went back and read it. And I love both, man. The movie, which is like almost panel for panel from issue number 1, printed on a more paper type quality. It doesn't have that modern shine to the pages. Dr. Manhattan looks bold and blue and beautiful as always. Man, you got the comedian here getting flashbacks of being kicked out of the window. So, you know, not a whole review on The Watchmen here, and it's been a while since I read it, but obviously a classic story, must read. You got Rorschach here, big, huge paneling. Love the coloring. Everything from the writing to the art to the flow of the whole issue to issue is just incredible. And you just get the 12 issues. Let me see, are there any bonuses? The blood dripping down, keeping that theme going from issue to issue. All right, so a biography, or actually an afterword by Alan Moore. Always cool to jump into his mind. Looks like we have some sketches and putting the story together. It's definitely one of the best formats for this story. I just have never seen the annotated edition in person. And then lastly, I did get to personally thank the creator himself for bringing these back, not only bringing them back with volumes 1 through 4, but coming out with volume 5 at the same time. And now here we are with volume 6, the Spawn Deluxe editions. I think this is what, 125 through 150? Let's check. Volume 6 feels much bigger than some of those other volumes as well. All right, we have the orange theme on this one, keeping in coordination with the other volumes. Everything looks great on the bottom as well. Retailing $100 even. And this is a heavy book, man. So you got that high gloss finish on the skull, the matte black on the hardcover. Nothing on the spine, just the 6 and the skull. Same on the back. So let's open this bad boy up. Got that black pattern here on the cover page. You got the Spawn skull on the cover page, and boom. I was already flipping through this. You're smacked in the face with art throughout this whole book. It's incredible, man. Collecting issues 126 through 150, so we're going 25 issues at a time in this oversized format, which is kind of akin to a DC Absolute format, but, you know, it's Image's own thing here. So giving you a table of contents in thumbnail form. We get a little intro by Todd McFarlane. This is how it's showing us issue 126. So the Image logo with Spawn in the back, and then the big Virgin cover. All right, cool. Greg Capullo artwork here. Now, I have read Spawn issues like 1 through 250 and all the tie-ins leading up to it. I don't recall exactly what's going on during this point of the story, but man, the Capullo artwork here, the Todd McFarlane stuff, it's incredible. And I liked the Spawn story. I think they went everywhere with it, as far as you can go. Heaven and hell, life and death, the worst things that could happen to a person, losing his family, his wife, and then dealing with these literal devils. One of my personal favorite Spawn stories was the whole Wanda Twins Armageddon storyline. I got to do a Spawn reread one day. Man, big explosive artwork with the blood splatter everywhere. Man, we got to support these and get this whole run collected. I mean, at least up to 300. But man, where are we at now? We got to be close to like 350. The longest ongoing comic book series right now, isn't it? We got some Redeemer action here. Gets a little bit darker during these issues. Boom, big, bright, bombastic artwork. Look at this, man. They don't make comics like this anymore, y'all. That's what's so important for us to have these in this format, to keep them collected. Man, that's amazing. I recall this too, man. We got to do a reread. All right, let's keep it moving to the back. Let's see what else do we get besides these 25 issues. This is nice too. Now, this does have that high gloss page, but it makes sense with the artwork. That's the type of page quality that this stuff came out on. Still got Clown in the mix here. All right, so here we go. A cover art gallery. So it gives you the sketches and the inks. There we go, because we get the Virgins before each issue. Remember that cover. So many iconic covers. Capullo stuff too. Ooh, love that Violator. This is probably one of my favorite sets that I have in my collection right now. These Spawn Deluxe editions. Keep getting more artwork in the back. Beautiful stuff. All right, everybody, and there is the haul. Once again, big shout out to Organic Price Books. Make sure to check them out if you're looking to pick up any collected editions or any hardcovers. Use code GemMint. It'll save you $2. And come check us out on Whatnot Wednesdays, man. We're doing huge giveaway shows every Wednesday leading up to New York Comic Con, and we're doing a buyer's appreciation giveaway for a premium statue on every show. Come check us out. Use my link to sign up if you haven't yet. You get a $10 credit. Todd McFarlane is going live on August 23rd. He's remarketing and signing pieces of his booth from San Diego Comic-Con. You got to come through and check it out. I appreciate you watching. Stay minty fresh. Peace.